At this session, we're gonna sketch these lines, these 3D lines, step by step together, as I mentioned in the last session. Right now, I'm gonna sketch one or two of them, then I'll leave the others for you to sketch them. For example, I choose these, and then I wanna start sketching it, but I should arrange these two views in order to observe the model, and at the other side, sketching it in Rhino. So this was the first, approach, but the other approach is to import the image into Rhino and then just use it as a guide or a reference that I'm sketching the model from. But don't get me wrong, I don't want to sketch the model like the previous session that I used to sketch the overlapping lines. And the another option or approach for sketching these, for having an easy access to these, is using the library. Here I open the option, then I open libraries. By this way, I can get access to the library of Rhino as you are concerned. Here I can open homework, and in the 3D lines, then I choose my desired image. All I want to tell you is that you can easily get access to the images or pictures or whatever. And if you wanted to import them, you can use click and drag and then release them in the scene. But I want to choose to open the image and then dock the window at the left side and then sketch it in Rhino, which is at the right side of the scene or screen actually. And even I can close the dockable windows since we don't need them for now. Then I press Ctrl+M to maximize the perspective view or the full screen mode of perspective view, and then I start sketching the 3D lines. At first I should start the polyline command, then I check that ortho and grid snap should be enabled. Then I want to start from this part and then we shall go on. 0 enter for the origin point. As I told you before, you'd better to start your models from the origin point. 25 units, enter. I enter the value, then I press enter. After that 12, again 25, then again 12, enter, and 25. Well done. Here as you are concerned for entering the measurements or the distances of these lines, we just need to select the polyline and then we should specify the first point and then I enter the length or distance. For example, for sketching 50 meters, the first point is already specified. I import 50, then I press enter button, or you can use click by this way. Then I want to sketch the 12 units height or moving it along the z-axis. I hold down Ctrl button, then I click on the point and then I move it forward, upward. Then I import 12. Then at the current direction, as you can see, I'm gonna continue the line along the z-axis, x-axis, 20 and click, and then at this direction the value is 25, sketch, import and then click, and the remaining distance or length is 55 since the value was 75. Then for having a vertical line, I again hold down Ctrl button, then I click on the end point, I import 25, click, well done, again 25 units, I import 25 in the command line, then click 20, 25 by this way. I press down a space bar to check the lines and also to keep the lines, and then again I pick the polyline, then I connect these 2 points to each other by this way. Then from the other side I'm gonna start sketching 75 as the total height, a vertical line as you can see. As you can see, the behind part is prepared. Then by using right click, I start the command of polyline. I start sketching, then I hold down Ctrl for sketching a vertical line at the size of 12 units or meters. Then I connect it to the intersection. Well done. Let's start again. 25 meters, I import and click 12, just like the image. 25, 12, 25, and then at last I connect it to the point by this way. Then I pick the single line command to sketch the intersections or the corners actually. Then by making copies, I position the line. Well done. So the first 3D line is completed as you're concerned step by step. I relocate it and then I'm gonna go for the next one, just like the previous one. At the current model, as you can see, we got some other points and techniques like associating the angles and also the relative coordinates. So you're gonna learn new things. I'm gonna start from this point, but at the beginning of the sketch, I import 0 in the command line for starting from the origin point, 22, the length of the line. I click and then at this part, I'm gonna rotate the line at 45 degrees. I import the less than symbol, then I import 45, enter. Then by this way I can have the 45 degrees line. And as you're concerned, the length of the line is 9 units. So I import 9 in the command line, then I press enter. Then here the relative coordinates, as you can see, are 9 and -9 along the x and y axis. At sign 9, -9. Well done. And then again 22. Click. I hold down Control and then I click on the point to sketch the vertical line. 16, enter. Again 22. Check this out. Well done. Then I want to sketch a line which is perpendicular to the vertex of the lines. So I need to enable Smart Track by this way and by using the object snaps. Again, I hold down Control to sketch the vertical line. Snap. Hold down Control, then snap by this way. As you can see, these two lines are parallel to each other. Then I close the curve. So we have done to this part. Then by using single line, I sketch the vertical lines to associate the intersections, and then this is the result, like a surface or a panel. As you can see, I pick polyline command, and for now, as you can see on the screen, I'm gonna move the line along the y-axis. I import 16, then I click, I hold down Control, I sketch the vertical line 6 units, then the length of 18, 16. Then by holding down Control, I sketch the vertical line. I hold down Control, then by click and drag 42, the total height. And then for this part, as you can see, I import 16. As you can see, there we should define an angle length. The total length there is 30. I mean 15 for its sides. I import @ for defining the angle. I'm sorry for the relative coordinates. 15 minus 0. Since you won't have any movement along the y-axis, I import -15 to move it along the z-axis. I click and then I'm gonna sketch the other side at sign 15, 0 and then 15. Since the movement is toward upwards, after that 16 units. I move it forward 20, again 16. And then again for this part I type in the command line at sign -15, 0 and then -15 like this. Again at sign -15, 0 and 15. Check this out. 16 and then at this part I'm gonna sketch this line and then connect it to the intersection. Right now I can select the polyline and then explode it. I select this line, I hold down Alt button, then I click on the red arrow of the gumball, then I import 9 for making a copy and moving. Then for the other side I can select these two lines, and then by using mirror command I specify the axis, I mirror it at the other side by this way. Again by picking single line command to sketch the intersections and corners like this. After that, the line for the bottom part is 62 units. Check this out. Then I can select the previous line for making copies like this way and then place them at the four corners. Right now I select the polyline here, I click on copy command, then I duplicate it to place it at the other side. Look, again this line, I click on copy command, then for the corner like this. And finally, I pick the single line to sketch the corner of the 3D lines and enclose the curve. So as you can see, we have sketched two of the 3D lines images step by step, very simple. But for you, addition to these two practices or homeworks for developing your skills in sketching 3D lines and using ortho, that how and when we should use ortho command or options, and how can we sketch vertical lines, specify angles, relative coordinates, and the length and distance.